So hey guys, Tommy here from Hoot Poot Films, and today I wanted to review the movie Tombstone. This movie was released in 1993, going on 23 years old, and well, a lot of people probably already seen reviews for it. Damn, probably a lot of people have already seen the movie. However, my desire to review the movie has been propelled by my own affinity for the character Doc Holliday for one, and second, on this channel, we have our new dub of Tombstone in the form of Brokeback Ground Zero. I highly recommend check it out. I'll put a link somewhere like right up here. First off, like I said, I review nothing professionally. This was purely made from homosexual love for the movie. And that I have no formal metric for the quality of this film, except for its placing somewhere on a scale starting at the bottom from miserable to the top to delicious. So let's start off with, what the fuck is Tombstone? So released in 1993 and directed by George P. Cosmatos, Potato Pinata. It's a western set in the late 19th century, and albeit seen through the lens of Hollywood, depicts the adventures of historical events of Wyatt Earp, his two brothers, and Doc Holliday as they seek new entrepreneurial fortune in the bustling town of Tombstone, all the while dealing with the local outlaws. So the story of two diametrically opposed forces, good guys versus bad guys, creating the tension which ultimately resolves in the form of a climax, is nothing new to storytelling, and is of course the core conflict in this film. But the characters who compose these forces in this film are phenomenal, badass, and based on real people that actually existed with the phenomenal mustaches, and it's some of the things presented in this film. Which leads me to mention that the second point that I will glorify this film for is the history behind it. I know what you're going to say to me. There's so many things they got wrong. I get it, but I don't bash them for making some scenes hyperbolic and sometimes reinterpreting what happened as it's made for stellar action. Now, I will disclose that I cannot evaluate every cinematic metric like some people can or will, so things like sound effects, music compositions, and cinematography will not be described in detail. Now, I will say that nothing is glaringly bad, and sound effects are crisp, cinematography is good, and there are nice shots like this. So as previously mentioned, the central conflicts between good guys versus bad guys, with the good guys being Wyatt Earp, played by Kurt Russell, his brother Morgan Earp, played by Bill Paxton, who recently passed away, rest in peace, Bill. Virgil Earp, played by Sam Elliott, and Doc Holliday, played by Val Kilmer. And all four of these main protagonists are portrayed on the movie's cover. And of course, let's not forget the main bad guys. Curly Bill, played by Powers Booth, Johnny Ringo, played by Michael Bien, Ike Clayton, played by Stephen Lang, and Billy Clayton, played by Thomas Hayden Church. And ultimately, these guys, in my opinion, are what make this movie shine. So starting off, Wyatt Earp was a real-life badass whose resume includes being a bouncer, buffalo hunter, saloon keeper, brothel keeper, gambler, constable, U.S. deputy marshal, policeman, sheriff, and even such occupations like being a boxing referee. So Kurt Russell does an excellent job at portraying a full spectrum of humanity in the character Wyatt Earp, which ranges from his grizzled past exemplified by the coldest pair of eyes you would never want to lock with, to the heartfelt and life-loving moments of his interest in a lover and potential different life altogether.
Let's run it at them.
Yeah, I'm an oak, all right.
Of course, Wyatt was alone. He had his brothers, Morgan and Virgil, who, although didn't have too much screen time in the film, make a resounding impact and become lovable. Although the leader of the cowboys is Curly Bill, who, from the start, is made out to be the driver of the antagonistic forces of the film with a complete disrespect for the law and people in general. The main villain, in my opinion, or at least the one presented in the best possible manner and made more noticeable, is Johnny Ringo. And although playing on the side less favored, you can't help but to love his energy of, I'm the baddest motherfucker here, and I have no reservations on proving it mentality. And second to that, there's Ike Blanton, a big talking coward, and his brother Billy Clinton, who do fine jobs opposing the forces of good. And you know, I can't help but to think like I'm forgetting somebody.
I'm your huckleberry.
Doc Holliday, the star of the show in my opinion, and many people's opinion, I would imagine, maybe, is John Henry Holliday, aka Doc Holliday. The highly intellectual dentist turned gambler from the South who doesn't give a fuck to bet his life because he has a death note in the form of tuberculosis. I wish I could say this guy is pure fiction, but this was a real badass mother. And, might I add, this guy lived from the ages of 13 to what I believe 19 in the town or city, whatever you want to call it, of Valdosta, Georgia, a place where I grew up, and which is another reason for my homosexual affinity for this character. Overall, Val Kilmer does a fantastic job of playing a character who lives a quote-unquote YOLO lifestyle, with some of the most baller quotes from any film I have seen.
500 must be a peach of a hand.
You're probably seeing double.
I have 2 guns, 1 for each of you.
Don't any of you have the guts to play for blood?
I'm your huckleberry.
Doc, been hitting awful hard, haven't you?
Nonsense. I've not yet begun to defile myself.
Ultimately, if you like westerns or action films, I highly recommend this movie. If you don't, I highly recommend this movie. With great action, a phenomenal setting, characters, and a rich history that backs some of the events, this is a great film that I give the rating of delicious. Well, make sure to subscribe if you liked it, and check our Smack or Twat if you like tweeting and stuff. Yeah.